All right. So while Shadow's snoring in the background, I want to start off by saying, hey, it's October 1st. It's the start of the month. So that means that if you want a paid membership with Elite Prospects, you want to see what you get there, but you want a little bit of money off, you use the code THG25, no spaces, just THG25. You get 25% off your first 3 months of membership with Elite Prospects. With that, you get full access to EP Ringside, player pronunciations, bookmarking of players, ad-free browsing, which is a great benefit. I know with things that I subscribe to online, a big part of it is just, getting away from some of the ads. Some sites are really bad with it. I don't find YouTube's quite as bad, but I do have a premium membership with YouTube as well. Box free statistics for select hockey leagues, custom player stats tables, updating your personal profile, submitting profile photos, free agency listings, player transaction notifications, player agency information, a verified player/staff page, my lineup, custom left menu alterations, stats cards, customized transactions on the start page, and player staff commenting. Easy for me to say. So there you go. If you go over to Elite Prospects and sign up, and it's good for the first 7 days of every month. So you can sign up from the 1st through the 7th. If you sign up on the 8th and you try THG25, it's going to say, come back on the 1st. All right, let's talk about today's news a little bit. So I did news this morning, and I'm doing news now. And what's going to happen is the news is going to change. We get into the regular season. There's going to be news about guys getting called up, and sent down, and news about injuries and stuff of that nature. So getting into injury news first. Brian Little does have a concussion after the Cunnin collision. And Paul Maurice didn't like the collision at all, but it happened, and according to the NHL, it is a collision and not a predatory hit. So there's no suspension or any kind of fine or anything being leveled. And if you look at it from certain angles, it might look kind of bad, but it doesn't look like Cunnin targeted him really in particular. So we don't know the return of Cunnin, and it looks like, or not Cunnin, of Little, and it looks like Andrew Kopp, according to the practice lines, may be centering that second line with Connor and Laine. So that's an interesting trio right there. And would Laine look at Kopp as his center and go, okay, that's good? Or would he look at that and go, well, his goals are less than Little's? Could we see something happen here? Or if we're going to be positive about this, does this mean Andrew Kopp gets his chance to shine? And is this going to spur Jack Roslovic to go, wait a minute, I want that second line center spot, and maybe he starts putting up points from wherever he is in the lineup. Beaulieu is apparently out for around 4 weeks. It kind of explains why Dahlstrom would get picked up. They also sent Sami Niku down to the American Hockey League, so it's quite possible Winnipeg wasn't very impressed with Niku in the preseason, and when they saw Dahlstrom on waivers yesterday, they said that's a better player than what we've got in our blue line right now. Winnipeg's blue line is a huge topic of conversation and will be, I would think, for at least the first month of the year. And then either we'll decide it sucks or we'll decide, wow, this is actually a really good blue line. What a surprise. Or maybe we'll decide they're barely keeping it together with Band-Aids and duct tape. The Vancouver Canucks have announced that they're going to announce their captain at their home opener. Surprise, it's going to be Bo, but please act surprised for Bo Horvat. The alternate captains will include Bo until that announcement. Alex Edler, Brandon Sutter, and Chris Tanev will be the other alternates. I know there are Canuck fans that want Brandon Sutter gone. Honestly, I don't get it. Brandon Sutter, when he's healthy, provides that bottom six forward, and he can take faceoffs as well. Bo gets run into the ground when it comes to faceoffs. So I'm fine with Sutter still being on the team. Yeah, he's overpaid. Absolutely, 110% he's overpaid. That contract's insane, but that doesn't mean that you necessarily cut him from the team. And I think that Edler, Sutter, and Tanev are probably Canucks for the whole season. And that's despite the reality that Tanev is probably going to be walking as a UFA, but maybe he sticks around. Maybe Benning will drive everybody insane and sign him to an extension a week into the season, and then Canuck fans can lose it again, because that's what they do. Look at Berchi getting waived as an example. And hint, Toronto, Tavares is going to be captain. Don't tell anybody. Shh. They're not going to. I don't think the Leafs are actually going to announce it. I think he's just going to go out on the ice with the C, and people are going to be like, "Hey, when did you decide to make Tavares the captain?" And Babcock's going to turn to the press and say, "Shut up." And then Kyle Dubas will go, "I announced it last week." And they'll be like, "When last week?" And he'll go, and then that'll be it. So I don't think they're going to have any fanfare. They're just, Tavares is going to skate out there with captaincy, and they're going to go, "There it is." And I think that'll happen tomorrow. Sidney Crosby practiced. Good news. So he's not far off. We don't know if he's going to play in the opener yet. I can't find anything telling me definitively one way or the other. Brian Rust will not. He's supposed to be out a little bit longer than may have otherwise been anticipated. So yeah. Without Rust and Galchenyuk's day-to-day, that's not going to help things for Pittsburgh. Now, if Crosby's in the lineup, Crosby is probably one of the greatest players I can think of in terms of being able to get wingers' goal totals up. He makes almost any winger look good. So as long as Crosby's in the lineup, they should be okay. But it would definitely benefit them if Galchenyuk was in the lineup. Galchenyuk has to be fired up. He has now been dumped off by 2 teams already in his career. He should be absolutely fired up, and a 30-goal season is there. He has the hands for it, and now he has the center. Whether he ends up with Crosby or Malkin, he has a center that can get him to 30 goals. It would be an interesting season. Buffalo fans melted down on Twitter. I saw this, and I admit I found it entertaining only because these are practice lines before the season has started. This is how seriously hockey fans take their teams, and I've learned that over the last 3.5 years that this channel's been going, that fans are so passionate about their team. And so the practice lines, not a game, we're talking about practice. Olofsson, Eichel, and Reinhart on the first line. Everybody can get behind that. Skinner, Johansson, and Sobotka. It's when you see Sobotka on the second line that Buffalo fans apparently lose their minds. The thing is, if you just look at that second line and you don't look at the rest, it's just in a vacuum. I can understand. However, the third line is Jimmy Vesey, Casey Middlestad, and Connor Sherry. That is a really good third line. You've got to think they're going to get better defensive matchups than the first 2 lines. These guys could do some damage. Middlestad could break through this year. Then you've got Girgensons, Larson, and Okposo or Rodriguez, whoever they put in. And honestly, yes, Okposo's contract kind of sucks, but he's still there. And that's not a bad fourth line, I should say. I was going to say fourth line. This is not a bad group of forwards. And while I can understand people being upset about Sobotka, he has the ability. I'm not sure what happened to him last year. I've seen it. I know the year before with St. Louis it wasn't much better. But I swear by all that's holy, before he went to Europe, he was a good player. I'm not sure what happened to him. On the blue line, they've got McCabe and Ristolainen. They've got Dahlin and Miller. And Scandella, apparently with Jokiharju, and Gilmore as the extra. I did see reports on Cap Friendly that Olofsson and Jokiharju were sent down. Immediately went to Twitter and went through the feed. And I don't see anything from Buffalo media or the Buffalo Sabres franchise about Jokiharju or Olofsson getting sent down. So if you look at Cap Friendly and you go, oh my God, as a Buffalo fan, don't worry. I don't see that they've actually been sent down. I'd be shocked if Olofsson doesn't spend all 82 games on the Buffalo Sabres roster. Speaking of underdogs that made it, I mentioned Scott Sabourin for the Ottawa Senators a couple days ago. Let's give a round of applause to Twarynski with Philadelphia. Yes, Twarynski has made the opening night roster. We're expecting big things from Farabee and Frost and what could happen. Twarynski makes it. Congratulations to him. We'll see how long that goes on for. And you know what? Those are good stories. And Bunneman made the team as well. So a couple of underdogs make the roster for the Flyers. And last but not least, I'm kind of surprised Calle Rosen gets sent to the American Hockey League by Colorado. There's no shortage of players I could go through in NHL history that I've liked that have ended up playing not very many games in the NHL. And whether it was due to injury, whether it was due to just they were good offensively but lousy defensively, or they just didn't mesh with their lineup. For whatever reason, there are certain players that I have a fondness for that just never catch on. And I'm really hoping Kelly Rosen isn't the latest example of that. I liked him a lot as a Toronto defenseman. I know Babcock did not. And with this fresh opportunity with Colorado, I was really hoping he'd stick. I understand Connor Timmins coming into the lineup is a big part of the reason why Colorado was able to jettison some defense. But I'm kind of surprised Rosen didn't at least qualify to stay on the roster for now. I expect him to be the first call-up if/when a defenseman gets hurt in Colorado. But we'll see. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And I'm very excited about tomorrow night being opening night. And again, don't be surprised when Tavares just comes out with a C on. He's the captain. They may even argue he's always been captain. They may just take old pictures from last year and just draw a C on him. And he's like, this is Adam Oates. This has nothing to do with it. Tavares is captain. It's going to happen. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Amazing. I'm pretty sure the channel should pass 123,000. If not today, then probably tomorrow. And for people who want to count exact numbers, that's not allowed anymore for whatever reason. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you again soon.